Hey everyone, welcome to the another video, and in this one we are going to see how we can set up the Evilginx, and this is going to be the guide for beginner level to the advanced level. So we are going to cover everything in between step by step. And in this video, whatever I'm going to use it, like the fake domain, let's say I'm going to use it, which is 1yt.in. Original domain that I'm going to use it, fluxset.com, that is also owned by me. So whatever I'm going to do in this particular video, all of these assets are owned by me and me only. And this video is only for educational purpose, and don't misuse this knowledge. And if you are going to misuse this knowledge, I'll be not responsible for your actions, right? And I'm going to add the timestamp for this video also, so that if you know some part of the video already, then you can just jump around and go to the next part of the video and continue from there. Okay, so without wasting time, let's get started. So first question is, what is Evilginx? So Evilginx is a basically phishing framework, or I must say by far one of the best phishing framework that ever existed in the market, right? So what is a phishing framework? So there is a let's imagine there is a website called xyz.com, and there is another website called fake.com. These are the two websites, right? And suppose this xyz.com has a lot of users, and fake.com that you have created. So what Evilginx will help you to do is, you can clone these xyz.com and host on the fake.com, so that you can share the fake.com link to the users, and user will be tricked to enter their credentials on the fake.com, because the fake.com looks exactly like original website, right? And basically you can steal the credential in between, right? So this is how the phishing framework typically looks like. Okay, so this was the by far like simplest example that I can give you. If you didn't understand what is a phishing, then please go ahead on the internet, find some images and text, and you will be getting. Okay, so in order to proceed with the setting Evilginx, there are two things that you need. First thing, you should have the fake.com domain. In my case, I'm going to use it 1yt.in, which is owned by me. The second thing, you should have the Linux server. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get started without wasting time, right? So here is my DigitalOcean account, and I am going to create one Linux server, DigitalOcean server to perform the Evilginx, right? So let's say there is a region Bangalore. I'm going to choose Ubuntu 22.04, and I'm going to choose the $16 per month VPS. You can select the $5 per month also, but for me, I'm going to select $16, because then SSH key I have already set up. If you don't have, you can just enter the server password here, and let me just change the name to the test and create the droplet. Okay, so that should create the droplet for us. The second thing we need to do is, we should have access to the domain that we are going to use to perform a phishing site, right? Basically the domain where you will be creating phishing site, the copy of the original website, right? So for me, I have original website, which is fluxset.com. This is the original website. Sorry, not fluxset.com, it's a higher.fluxset.com that we are going to use this for this tutorial, right? So this is the website higher.fluxset.com, which is original website, and we are going to create a phishing website of this website on 1yt.in, or let's say higher.1yt.in. Here we are going to create that particular website, right? So right now it's not showing because we haven't created it, but this is the original domain higherfluxset.com, and this is the fake domain higher1yt.in, right? I think everything is clear now. You should have domain access to the 1yt.in. Okay, so we need to add some records here. So for me, I am using Cloudflare DNS. It might be possible that you are using some GoDaddy DNS, or let's say any other DNS like Namecheap or something, but the feeling is same. You need to add the records. Okay, so let's click on the add record, and here I need to create a name record for this server IP address. As you can see, the server is already created. So let me just paste it here, turn off the proxy, Right now I'm on Cloudflare, that's why I need to turn off the proxy, but in your case it is not required to turn off proxy if you're not using Cloudflare. Then another record we need to create is cname record, and here we need to mention everything, that means star, and then we need to mention 1yt.in right here and turn off the proxy again and save it. Okay, so at the end you should look something like these two records, a name record for this particular thing and then cname record for this particular thing. We need to make sure one thing, that if it is pointed correctly. So let me open my terminal, and next thing we need to do is, let's say dig 1yt, I think yt.in, right? That's it. Yeah, and as you can see the IP address is 139 dot and whatever the 43 at the end, and this is the exact same IP address that we have added here. Okay, one more test we need to do is, let's say test.1yt.in, right? And that should also give exactly same IP address. In fact, even if we enter anything in front of that as a subdomain, it should give the same IP address, right? So I think everything is great, right? So we created did the DNS part completely. Okay, so next thing we need to do is we need to open the terminal and log in into the server. Okay, so let me just open my terminal, like let's make it a little bit bigger right here, and let's copy the IP address of the server, SSH and root at IP address, right? So let me just remove that hash, and as you can see it is asking, so let me enter my password. Okay, enter again, and it should give me access to the server. So as you can see I am inside this server. So let me just clear this screen once. uh, Remember one thing, whenever you do login or create a new server, first thing we need to do is apt update, so that will get the all latest repository for your server. And then we need to do apt upgrade, right? So this will upgrade these all old packages on the server to the latest version of the packages, right? So why we do this, we just do this to avoid any bug or issues in the server, right? So yeah, it will take a little bit time to install it once packages are downloaded, but it's all on your server size, right? So I chose the $16 server, which has a good efficiency, so it will be a little bit faster. If you are choosing $5 server, then it will be a little bit slower when it comes to the installing and downloading the things, right? Okay, so as you can see the server packages are upgraded to the latest version. So let me do ls and clear the screen, right? Next thing we need to do is we need to install the Golang on the server. So let me just enter go, and it says go is not found. Okay, but the software we are going to use or tool we are going to use is which is created in the Go. So if we want to do something with it, we should have Go installed, right? So first we need to do is apt install Golang, right? And this should be installing the Go language on our system, right? So if you are using AWS, or if you have created server on AWS, it might be possible that you need to add the command called sudo apt install Golang. Okay, instead of apt install Golang, you need to do the sudo apt install Golang, right? It all depends on from which user you are logging into the server. Okay, so as you can see the Go language is installed. If I do go, it is showing me help message right here, so that means Go is installed. Okay, great. Next thing we need to do is we need to find the GitHub repository for this particular Evilginx, right? So this is the repository, GitHub repository for Evilginx, and I can just click right here and copy the repository URL from here and use git clone to clone that repository on my server. So I'll just create a new test directory and cd into the test, and here I will do git clone and paste that particular URL, and it should give me Evilginx folder, right? So if I do ls, it is Evilginx. So cd into the Evilginx and do ls. So as you can see, this is a Go project, right? So main.go file is there. So what you can do is you can type go build, build, go build, and that will build the project for us and create the Evilginx binary for us. Okay, So it shouldn't take long time if you are using good server. Okay, so if I do ls right now, as you can see, the Evilginx binary is already there. So that means we build the Evilginx binary. So let me hit enter, like I did for /Evilginx to launch the binary. And as you can see, there are some things I will be able to see here. First thing, there is a phishlet with name of the example, which is by default phishlet given by the Evilginx. Then there is a error, failed to start name server on port 53. And then there is a saying that loading configuration from this file, right? So we need to make sure that configuration is right. So let's copy the configuration path, type exit and exit from the Evilginx, and do cd and paste that configuration path right here. And if you do ls, as you can see, there is a file called config.json. Okay, so let me just edit this file config.json and add the things here. So instead of the domain, I will add 1yt.in, because that's the domain I'm going to use for phishing. Then there is a external or phishing or fake domain, you can say that. The external IP, so let's go ahead and copy the server IP address from here. Okay, where is it? Okay, this one. So let's paste it server IP right here. And then there is a bind IPv4, forget about that. Then there is a unauth URL. So here instead of unauth URL, we have added some kind of YouTube URL. Yeah, that's okay, and we can change that later. Then HTTPS port URL, that must be 443, and then there is a DNS port number. So instead of that, we will just add 444 here, because we you remember, right, we had an issue with that port 53. So let's save it and exit it, right? So once this is done, what you can do is cd and do ls, and again go to the test and Evilginx folder. And if you do ls, the binary will be there, and you can execute binary once again. So next thing we need to do is we need to make sure that the whatever the phishing site we are going to create, that should be accessible from the outside. So if you do help here, as you can see, there is a blacklist is also available. So let me just copy this blacklist and paste it right here. So it is saying the blacklist mode set to the unauth, right? So we will just turn off the blacklist. So let's say blacklist off. So this will off, like completely turn off the blacklist, so that anyone can visit our phishing website, right? So once that is done, as you can see, we have example phishing phishlet right here. So what is a phishlet? Phishlet is a basically configuration that we create in order to create phishing website of some website, right? So if you do ls, there is a directory called phishlets, and inside that directory there is a configuration called example.phishlet YAML. That's a configuration. So if we copy this phishlet, and if I do ls phishlet, as you can see, example YAML file is there. Here we can create our own phishlets also, right? So let's do one thing. Let's make the copy of this phishlet. So let's say cp phishlets and example phishlets to the phishlets. Let's say test1.yaml, right? So our phishlet name is test1, right? So let's do nano phishlet and why. Okay, so phishlet and test, right? So here we will create the phishlet. So by default, this is the phishlet we get from the Evilginx, but trust me, the phishlet configuration is way more advanced than it looks like. So this is just a basic example. So let me tell you something. It is talking about the phishing domain. So we are going to create the phishing domain with the name of hire. What is the original subdomain? So what is original subdomain? So if we go to the website that we talked about, this is okay. So hire.fluxet.com is the original website. So here, as you can see, the original subdomain is hire. So here also we will create hire, right? So then there is a domain name. So here we need to add the domain name. So okay, so in place of this domain name, what we need to add is fluxet.com. okay, so this is the original domain that we have. Okay, so next thing we need to do is we need to go here in the back and here also we need to add fluxset.com instead of the trigger domain. Okay, fluxset.com. In your case, these domain names and everything is going to be the different one. Okay, because this is my website, the fluxset.com, so I am creating the testing on my website basically. So you need to use the different website. So let me add the fluxset.com right here also. Then we need to search for I think 1yt.in, and then we need to replace with fluxset.com right here. Okay, fluxset.com. I will explain what is this. Give me a second. Okay, so basically this is the main line where the magic happens. We are telling it there is a phishing domain that I have created called hire, and it belongs to 1yt.in. On that domain, I want to host the website with original subdomain which is hire, and original website which is fluxset.com, right? Because as you can see, original website is fluxset.com and original domain is hire right here. Okay, so this is what this tells, and it is saying that session is equals to true, means will a user be able to start session on this website? Yes. Is landing equal to true? Yes. Auto filter equal to true. Auto filter is basically adding the some rules in the phishlet, so that let me give you one example. Let's say that I have a website called this hire.fluxset.com, but in the website source code somewhere I have added some hard coded domain name like hire.fluxset.com, making I'm making some calls. So in that case, that will not be manipulated by the phishing side. So we need to find that where is a hire.fluxset.com inside the file, and then we need to replace with the our domain, right? So that's why we have the sub filters right here. So next thing we need to do is we need to add the auth tokens. So how to add auth tokens? Let's go to the original website, which is hire.fluxset.com, and let's find the application menu right here in the developer menu. By the way, you can open developer menu by pressing the F12 on the keyboard. Then you will find the cookies, and here as you can see we will be having cookies for hire.fluxset.com. So right now there are a hell lot of cookies right here, like crazy cookies right here. So we need to add all of this information right here. So in the cookie, as you can see, this is the .google domain name is there for the cookies. So let me just do one thing. Let me just clear the cookies for this website and just reload the website again, and let's see how many cookies I am getting, right? Okay. So only one cookie that I am getting for this particular website, and if I do check the domain name here, it is saying google.com. So that means for the website itself there is a no cookie as of now. I also wasn't aware about that, right? So in case your website has a cookie, in case your original website has a cookie, then how you will handle it? Let's enter the cookie domain name, something like this, hire.fluxset.com, where you will find cookie domain name. In the cookie section there is a section called domain name right here. Okay, so let me just make it a little bit bigger. Here you will find the domain name if your website has any cookie, right? And then there is a name of the cookie like this, generate captcha or something like that. This is not the name of the cookie for my website, but I'm entering anyway because I just want to show you how to do it with the original website. Okay, something like this. Then there is email, and then password and post, and this is okay. So basically this is the harvesting of the credential in the man in the middle, right? So if your user is entering the email and password for original website, then you need to extract those in order to see, right? So for that we are going to do this. For me, I don't think so we have anything on my website, but let's go ahead and click hire me. So here I have some fields. Let's say your name, email, and subject, and your message. That stuff is there. So what I will do, I will simply use this particular form as a login URL, okay, so that I can see what user is submitting. So here I will just right click and inspect element. or simplest way will be like, let's say name is Abhi and the email is abhi@mail.com. Okay, and subject is I need some work to be done, like, and what is the work? I want help with let's say hosting a website, hosting my website, my React website, right? Let's something like that. And if I hit submit, then it will be submitted, right? And it will take a little bit time, I guess, because the buffer thing is happening. Okay, so it is showing thank you for your message, it has been sent, right? So if I go to the network right here, and if I go to the request section of the hire, and if I check the payload that was sent, I'm not sure if I will be able to check that payload, because it wasn't the Ajax request, it was just a uh, simple request for, okay, I think I got it, I think this one, right? Yeah, see, the your name is Abhi, your email is abhi@email.com, your subject is dash dash dash. So we will just capture two things, only your name and your email, right? So let's just copy this particular stuff right here, and instead of the email I will just add here your name, extremely sorry, your name, and then there is a your email, right? So let me just add email. So these are the two things we are going to capture. And the trigger domain, what is the trigger domain right here? um, Trigger domain is basically the fake domain that we have created. So in my case 1yt.in, yeah, 1yt.in or hire.1yt.in, I'm not sure, we will confirm that later, right? I think it's a hire dot, right? Hire.1yt.in. Then there is a URL section. So here we will be mentioning our URL, which is /hire/. So we will just mention that URL right here. We will save this file and exit from this file. Okay, next thing we need to do is do ls and start Evilginx right here. So as you can see, failed to load phishlet this 1yt, sorry, test YAML. Okay, so according to them, this login domain should have the host name in it, right? So we do have the host name in the login itself, right? So we will just say something like this. Let me just show you. Hire.fluxset.com, right? I think this is the way to do it, right? So if I go back and load the phishlet, this time it is working great. So next thing we need to do is set the host name for this particular phishlet. So if you do help right here, it will show you the menu for helping. So let me just set the phishlet host name, and I want to set for NAME, right? And I want to set for test1, and the host name is basically hire.1yt.in. That's my host name right here. And now if I do fishlets in the right here, as you can see, it is showing hire.1yt.in. Okay, so I think we are done here. We need to just enable it, the fishlet, right? So let's say fishlets enable and test1, and that should do the magic, right? And if you do help right here, okay, so right now what is happening here, when we enable, it is getting the SSL certificate for our fake site, so that it will look like a legitimate site. I will show you a little bit, right? So here we need to create the URL to access the website. So we can create URLs using lures. So lures, let's say create and test1, that should create the URL. And as you can see, if I do lures right here, it is showing the fishlet for rules is created, but actually URL is not created yet. So we will just get the URL. We will type lures get dash URL and ID number 0, and this will give you this URL. Oh shit. Okay, so I know what I did mistake right here. I changed the host name to something else, right? So let's go back to the host name part right here, and instead of higher, let's set hostname to 1yt.in only, right? So if you do fishlets, you should have something like this, right? So we need to enable phishlet once again. So enable, this is the command to enable. And if I do fishlets again, sorry, it will take time to, yeah, as you can see the phishlet is enabled. Now I can get the URLs using this particular thing. And as you can see, it is giving hire.1yt.in and some kind of random URL. So let's click on this particular URL, and this should give me the copy of the website. Great, extremely great working, right? So as you can see right here, if I remove this hire from the URL, on the hire.1yt.in, we are able to get the website of hire.fluxset.com, right? So let me just open two websites side by side so that you can check hire.fluxset.com. Right, see, this is the original website hire.fluxset.com, and we were able to create hire.1yt.in, which is fake website, right? So yeah, this is how it goes. And when we share this URL to, let's say, some user to phishing, let's say the user is clicked on this is a fake website, like this is the fake website hire.1yt.in. So suppose user is clicked on hire me and added some details like abi email, and I need to do work some done, and I need your help to host website, and my budget is let's say $50, right? So this is the message. So when I click on submit, it should be able to submit it, and we should be able to harvest the credential in our place, right? So right now the submit process is not working because I have added the protection on my website for phishing, so that's why it is not able to submit it. But in your case, you should be able to submit it if the website hasn't added any phishing protection. So in that case, on the terminal side, you should be able to get the credentials right here, whatever the user is submitting. So this is how you can set up and do the phishing using the Evilginx 3. So if you have any doubt, you can just ask me in the comment. And by the way, I am going to create different fishlets for you, 10 types of the fishlet. First fishlet will be simple, the second will be with injecting JS code. Like what we can do is, this is the fake website like hire.1yt.in. so in this website we can inject some JS code so that we can, let's say, change the logo of the website, change the color of the website, or add some custom phishing so basically we can add the custom payload using JavaScript in the website if we want to achieve something like that, right? And similarly, I have 10 different types of the ideas by which I will be creating 10 different types of, or the 5 different types of the phishing templates or fishlets, you can say, and that can be used for educational purpose, again educational purpose. And I will share that templates on my website. You can just go ahead and you can just get that templates from there, right? And if you have any additional doubt, you can just ask me on the either on the fluxset.com or on the youtube.com, right? So either you can go here on the fluxset.com where we have created the discussion form. Here I resolve the people's question, or you can just ask me in the YouTube comment and I'll be happy to help you. So yeah, that's all for this particular video. And again, this video is only for educational purpose, so make sure that you are using all this knowledge for only educational purpose, right? To make a world more safer place and better place. Okay, thanks for watching this one, and see you in the next.